Realocha and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Polo Matlala. If you're here for the first time, ke a go amogela. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your support. We are continuing to profile the area Protea Glen in Soweto, and in this week's episode, we visit the Protea Glen Secondary School. This is one of the highest performing schools in the area, having achieved an 88.2% matric pass rate in 2025 under the stewardship of Principal Thulani Majola. We speak to the SGB chairperson to talk about plans for the year.
Good day. My name is Linda Motasi. I am the chairperson of the SGB here at Protea Glen Secondary number 1.
So, Linda, please tell us about how long you've been an SGB member.
This is my second term in terms of being an SGB member at school. So that makes this my 6th year.
Okay, so what is the relationship between the SGB and the parents and the school as well? And what role does the SGB play?
As the SGB, we are like if you think of a sandwich, you get the bread being the school and the parents, that would be the bread, and as the SGB would be the cheese in the middle. So we play a role that links both parents and the school together.
So, what are some of the things that the SGB committee is responsible for in terms of tasks, and how do you make sure that relationship works?
So with the SGB, it's a school governing body. So we mainly govern in terms of making sure that the school runs properly, making sure that the school is clean, the school has enough educators, the school has infrastructure is up to par with the standards that we would like for our community. So it's more governance in making sure that there's transparency in terms of finances, running the finances of the school, and making sure that everything is done according to government regulations.
So, looking at the performance of the school, how did the school fare in the 2025 matric results? And yeah, you can give us a brief history for a couple of years. How has the school been performing?
So the school has been around since about 2012. We've been doing quite well. We always produce around 80% in terms of metric results. But over the past 3 years, since we've gotten a new principal, Mr. T.L. Majola, we've actually been able to take our results to increase or improve over the last 3 years. Last year, we did an 88.4%, which was an improvement from an 88.2. We fairly increasing and we are constant at the same time. We hope with this year 2026, we have a hashtag called hashtag Deka Inkwashu, which means we are probably looking at getting that 100% this year.
So you've just mentioned that over the last 3 years, it's been improving. You've seen an increment. What has the school been doing differently to get you to that point where you are increasing?
We have what you call SIP classes. Those are implemented by the GDE, where matriculants come on Saturdays. Some of the teachers are actually going over and above that and coming on Sundays as well, depending on what subject it is or where do they feel that they need to improve or help the learners with that. But what we've seen last year is that we also implemented early morning classes. So the kids are here at 7 o'clock for an hour as an extra lesson, and then after school from 3 to 4, they also go for another hour after school. Towards the end of last year, just preparing for the final exam, we also implemented something called the 3 to 6. So we would have classes from 3 o'clock till 6 o'clock in the evening. I think that helped tremendously with the preparations.
So you've just pointed out that you are aiming for even higher. So what are the programs that you have in place and plans in place for this year, particularly to ensure that you keep increasing?
So we've also identified that we've got learners that that are a threat in terms of getting that 100%. We've looked at the stream that they are currently doing, and if a learner is not doing well in pure maths, then we get that child to convert to mathematical literacy, which is slightly works better because when they shift over to that particular subject, then that child gets to get better grades.
What you're indicating right now also speaks to also the quality of the passes. There's been conversation across the country in terms of some criticizing that the 30% pass rate is not good enough. So, as the school, have you been seeing an increment in the number of quality passes, if I can call it that, bachelors and university entrance?
So I don't have correct figures, but we just celebrated district awards just last week, where our school got position 5 in terms of number of bachelor passes within the Gauteng region. I think that's a very, or rather in our district, I think that's a very good number to be number 5 in the whole district.
You've just mentioned that in Gauteng, are there collaborative efforts with other schools, particularly in Protea Glen, in terms of improving the pass rates or aiming for higher performances as SGBs and as various schools in Protea Glen?
So not in terms of SGPs per se, but we do have Protea Glen number 2. So that particular school, we do work hand in hand where they also share classes together over the weekends here and there.
So in terms of the challenges that the school is going through, nationally you have schools where they report violence and those kinds of things. And we have others talking about the teacher learner ratio, and there are others who are talking about infrastructure. In terms of this particular school, what would you say are the challenges that the school is facing?
So yeah, learner teacher ratio is a big one. Our school is overcrowded. I think schools in general in South Africa are overcrowded. Protea Glen is fast growing, and we don't have enough schools. We don't have enough high schools. So you find one teacher looking after 60 or 70 kids, whereas maybe the ratio is 1 up to 40. So that's a big difference, right? We find that we don't have enough classes. We find that we have to apply for maybe these mobile classes. But even with that, you do get mobile classes, but you don't get manpower in terms of getting enough teachers. I think that if the government or the GDE would provide more teachers, that would be of great help.
So how many grades do you have? Is it from grade 8 to
Grade
12?
8 to Matric, yes, which is grade 12.
Okay, so we have an education system, and one of the issues is that even grade 4 learners um, are not able to read for meaning and understanding.
Yeah.
And then, how does that pose challenges in terms of a high school where you are receiving these children from primary school?
Yeah.
And you now have to deal with it. How do you deal with it, and how do you ensure that by the time they get to matric, they are now ready to achieve what the school wants to achieve?
Yeah. So that particular question, I think, would be supposed posed or answered properly by a teacher, and I'm only a parent here. But from experience and looking at results, our kids are not exposed to comprehension. They can read, but they don't necessarily understand what they're reading. So when we have our parental meetings, we do encourage that kids should be reading more, and parents should have that involvement as to helping your kids read and helping them understand what they're reading, because that's the base of everything. If a child can understand what the question is, then they are better informed as to how to answer that question.
So you've just mentioned that there are a lot more people who come for space and that the challenges of capacity in the school. In terms of Matric, you've just highlighted the percentages of passes earlier on in the interview. So how many learners are we talking about in Matric?
A little over 400 Matric learners this year.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I stand to be corrected in terms of the actual number, but our matriculants, the grade 11s that we had last year were the greatest number in terms of learners, and that's who is in Matric this year.
How many classes are we talking?
11 classes.
How do you manage that?
11 classes. So the school management team, along with the principal, managed that very well. With a little bit of manpower in terms of the teachers that we do have, we actually do manage to get everybody sorted.
Okay, anything else that you'd like to mention that perhaps I didn't ask?
You did mention some of the challenges, and I only touched on the teacher ratio. Challenges that we do have here at school is discipline. You know, with so many number of children, I think we have a little over 2,000 learners at the school, and discipline is a problem where we do have certain measures, our code of conduct, we have merit and demerit systems that we've implemented, but you still have discipline issues where children just don't want to be in class, or even if they are in class, they just want to misbehave in terms of the way they're dealing with each other as peers, or a student, a learner versus a teacher. So we have problems there, but we do handle that as and when the need arises.
So we've talked about challenges. What have been the highlights? We've already spoken about the increment in the pass rate, but what other highlights have the school achieved, and so on? I've seen the principal's office. It's
Full of
looking good.
trophies.
Yeah, a lot of trophies.
Yes, full of
Yeah, if you can
trophies.
just elaborate on that.
Yeah, so we have too many extramural activities. We have debate. Our kids do very well in terms of debate amongst other schools and within the district, where our children actually go up and reach your top threes. In terms of education, you'll have your science projects that go up to district level and also go up to national levels. Our kids, when they do participate, they actually make sure that they get the best results from them. That puts us on the map. We've got soccer. In terms of soccer, we've got kids that actually play on provincial levels. We've got kids that play for your Kaiser Chiefs, your Pirates, at their particular level. So in terms of sports, we've got children that do very, very well. Extramural activities, our kids just shine wherever they go.
I think I've covered everything.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for watching this episode. We wish all the 2026 Matric learners well in their studies. And as Protea Glen residents, we are rooting for Principal Majola and the teachers. May the school continue to thrive. Until the next episode, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I am Polo_Matlala on TikTok and Instagram, and I am Polo Matlala on Facebook. Take care of yourself and see you in the next episode.